Hey, Miguel Adorati back here with the CRP, and we're going to go over heavyweight odds. The big three in the heavyweight division, obviously, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, and Tyson Fury are on the calendar. All three have announced fights. Everybody is getting beat up at one level or another over their choice of opponents. None of the big three fighting each other and stuff. But, you know, we've known for a little bit that Anthony Joshua was going to fight Jarrell Miller on June 1st. That fight's been on the books and announced for a little bit. Joshua, right now at the books, is a minus 1,200 favorite. Jarrell Miller, plus 775. Miller and Joshua already did the press conferences announcing the fight and stuff. Came face-to-face, you know, got the hype going. Miller and Joshua rapping at each other and the whole thing and stuff. And, you know, it comes down to Joshua minus 1,200 favorite. So we'll see if Big Baby can come through and do something in Madison Square Garden, New York, there on June 1st. The Deontay Wilder Dominic Breazeale fight has been put officially on the books, and that's for May 18th. So that's going to happen a couple of weeks before Joshua and Miller. But we got opening book, you know, the books have opening lines for this fight here as well. We got Wilder minus 650 and Breazeale at plus 475. We've got an over-under here, 9.5 with the over at plus 135 and the under at minus 165. So, you know, you think Breazeale could go the whole way here. Interesting, Breazeale being given a better shot just in terms of the odds than Miller in his fight. I think that's par for the course. Wilder definitely has the hardest fight of the group, you know, on paper. Breazeale, one of the few times where Wilder's actually going to be looking at a guy face-to-face. I mean, you know, Fury was the other guy where he was as tall as him, and everybody else has been shorter, right? So Breazeale, a big man, skilled, you know, he comes with an amateur background and stuff. His only pro loss to Joshua in a bid for the world title that came a couple years back. You know, so this is his second chance, and he said in the news, he said, you know, Wilder's no Joshua, so we'll see. We'll see what goes on there. And the fight that, man, you know, Tyson Fury, maybe the most colorful and the exciting, the guy that we all wanted to see. And when we had the Fury and Wilder rematch, you know, Wilder's new personality where he's threatening to kill everybody and there's just this anger about him. I like the Southern charm that came with him earlier on in his career, you know, when he was kind of talking about Fury reminding him of a preacher man and stuff like that. He was a little more charming than where he's just always aggressive and not seeming cool. Breazeale kind of took him like, you know, like, hey, you're a weirdo. So Fury, with his personality, was kind of the hope, you know, and especially, you know, playing the bad guy to Wilder would have been great now. But they bring Fury to us on June 15th now at the Thomas and Mack Center, so he's coming to Las Vegas. Despite his talk about the judges in the States, he's coming to Vegas as a minus 5,000 favorite against Europe's Tom Schwarz. Schwarz, an undefeated fighter. Probably not in the top 15, though. And, you know, Schwarz paid back plus 2,000, over under 9.5 with the over at plus 105 and the under at minus 135. The Fury fight, it really has everybody baffled because Schwarz, it just wasn't on anybody's radar. You know what I mean? If you've gotten to see him, you know, you might have been going through some lists and you're, you know, one of these internet video file guys that likes to see it. You might have seen him, but there's nothing really on the highlights or anything that you see of Tom Schwarz that makes you think, man, this guy, he needs a shot in Vegas against Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? So he's being bought in. They're taking a cheap way out to try to get Fury a win in the States and build him up, so to speak, where, you know, I kind of think if they had struck now, they had everybody's attention, and now the heavyweight division has faltered. You know, it's what we always expect. The big fights that the crowd wants are not happening. Everybody's got excuses. Everybody's pointing fingers, but they're simply not happening. And what this podcast is about is the odds for the fights that we are actually getting. And Fury minus 5,000, Schwarz plus 2,000. It hints at we're actually getting really nothing there of any value whatsoever. So Joshua minus 1,200. He's the number one guy in my book, so he's the champ. You know, you got to be expecting guys to be hunting him. And then Wilder and Breazeale, you know, I mean, Wilder minus 650 favor, that's prohibitive in many sports, but in the world of boxing, Breazeale presenting the toughest challenge to any of the big three here. I'm Miguel Durrani. We're obviously going to pay attention to these odds as we move forward, and in addition to that, we're going to go long and do a full-out Cage Rage podcast on the heavyweight division. I'm Miguel Durrani for the CRP.